Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. And today, our videos on the NFL. We got a game preview between the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. So if you like the video today, please comment and share it, and we'll surely appreciate it here at 100 Yards of Football. Let me start out with the Chicago Bears. They come into this game with a 1-1 record. They got handled by the LA Rams to start the season 34-14, but they came back last week to defeat a very good Cincinnati Bengals team 20-17. But the word coming out of Chicago this week is the young man out of Kennesaw, Georgia, by way of Harrison High School, by way of the University of Georgia, and by way of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Mr. Justin Fields will be the starter on Sunday. And the way I look at it right now, he will be under the center. Last week, he came in and relieved Andy Dalton. He went 6 for 10 in that football game for 60 yards and 1 INT. But I'm going to tell you about Justin Fields. See, greatness is at a level. And you look at the Chicago Bears organization, and you look at their Super Bowl quarterback, Jim McMahon. He was great. But when you look at Justin Fields coming on the field Sunday, I think everything is going to change in the Chicago Bears organization. Because what you're going to get a young man that's got all these attributes. Like I told you on previous videos that I've been doing, he reminds me of a guy I seen play at 6 years old. And he was very special at Tennessee State University. His name was Eldridge Dickey. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about in the HBCU ranks. Justin Fields' skill set is similar to that. A guy that's mobile, a guy that can hurt you with his legs. And most of all, if you think I'm not putting the facts out there, go back to his career at Ohio State. 5,300 yards passing yards, 860 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns on the ground, 47 touchdowns in the air, 63 touchdowns overall. It's going to be an explosion in the Windy City. All that has to happen for Justin Fields on Sunday is how Matt Nagy is going to handle the scheme and the play calling. And most of all, can he get help from Allen Robinson? Can he get help from Donnell Mooney? And most of all, again, David Montgomery. But one thing Justin Fields has that's really maybe by him starting Sunday, and it's going to make the Chicago Bears a very special team, is their defense. Boy, this defense is on the same level of all the other Chicago Bears defenses. Can you say Dan Hampton? Can you say Richard Dent? Can you say Mike Singletary? Can you say Otis Wilson? Can you say Dave Dornson? Can you say Gary Finksick? Can you say Leslie Frazier? Can you say Mike Richardson? Steve McMichael? However, it's new characters. Last week against Cincinnati, held the Bengals to 69 yards rushing, intercepted Joe Burrow 3 straight plays, and they had 4 sacks. The new characters, Eddie Goldman, Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Raheem Smith, Jalen Taylor, and Eddie Jackson. The Bears have one of the best defenses in the game. And why I'm talking about Raheem Smith, I'm telling you, he fits the bill of all the great linebackers that's played in Chicago. And, man, I remember when the young man was down there in South Georgia, when he committed to UCLA, then he decommitted and played his football at the University of Georgia. I knew then that this young man was going to be a very special football player. And he feels the pants of all the other great linebackers that played at Chicago, the Mike Singletaries, the Dick Buckuses, the Lance Briggs, the Otis Wilsons, the Wilbert Marshalls. This young man got Chicago's defense going, and they're going to be really tough going into Cleveland on Sunday. Now let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield. The Browns are 1-1. They had the Kansas City Chiefs on the ropes. Kansas City came back in that first game, won that game 33-29. They got behind the Houston Texans, but they came back and beat Houston last week 31-21. Baker Mayfield, 19 of 21, 213 yards, 1 INT, 1 touchdown. But what I like about Mayfield, he separated his shoulder on that critical interception in the second quarter against the Texans, went to the locker room and came back and led that team to a victory. That's the same Baker Mayfield that started at Texas Tech, didn't like what's going on, and went to Oklahoma and became the starting quarterback there and won the Heisman Trophy. When he was drafted #1 overall, I said to myself, this is a young man that's got a chance to be very successful. What he got with him, he's got that uncontrollable running game. Jim Brown, Leroy Kelly, Kevin Mack. This season, 307 yards, but there's new characters. One of them is Nicholas Chubb out of the University of Georgia. 178 yards on the year, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. And you know what? He's from that little small town in Cedartown, Georgia, which is 40 miles from where I live at, where I'm broadcasting today from Douglasville, Georgia. What a football player. And Kareem Hunt is going to be special. But the thing about Cleveland and the offense coming into this game, they're going to miss Jarvis Landry. There's no question about it. High health is Odell Beckham Jr. He's 50-50 from last time I heard. But that's all right. Did you see what the playmakers did last week in the game against Houston? Demetric Felton, UCLA. Anthony Schwartz, Auburn. Donovan People-Jones, the University of Michigan. Rashid Higgins. I don't think they're going to too much miss Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry in this game. But the key to Cleveland, especially going against Chicago on Sunday, their defense has struggled a little bit. The secondary has not played well. Grant Delpit has had his parts. Rodney Harrison has had his parts. Denzel Ward has struggled a little bit. And Greg Newsome is still learning his way. But the D-line, this is where if the Cleveland Browns are going to win on Sunday, and if they're going to be a Super Bowl team, that means Malik McDowell, Myles Garrett, Malik Jackson, and Jadeveon Clowney have to be at a Pro Bowl level, one of the best D-lines in the game. And the reason I said that, Patrick Mahomes had 337 yards in the first game against the Browns defense. He wasn't even touched. Last week, Tyrod Taylor went 10 of 11 for 105 yards and a touchdown before he got hurt. The Browns defense is struggling. So that being said, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears in a close one, 24-21. I'm just excited about Justin Fields. And I think when he steps on the field Sunday, he's going to bring Lowell. And I think he's got the best chance of being the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history. It's just something about the young man I love. I seen him play in high school with Harrison, high school, the University of Georgia. I think what he did in the Rams game, he had, 3 plays, scored a touchdown. And then last week, the one thing he did, he made a critical turnover. But he's a young man. It just seemed like that once he get into the groove in the game, he's got it. And one thing that he's going to help the Bears offense is out, he's got mobility. And he's a guy that can play this game at the high level. So on Sunday, I'm taking the Chicago Bears over the Cleveland Browns 20-21. It's going to be a good football game, no question about it. The Windy City and the team on the lakes, the flats, the Cleveland Browns. My final words. It comes from this band out of Chicago. They're on the rock scene. And their name is Disturbed. Right out of the Windy City, Chicago. And they got a song that goes, "Are you ready?" And the lyrics are, "Get up, get up. Get up, get up." Well, are you ready? Justin Fields is going to make his debut against Baker Mayfield. Justin Fields is going to be ready. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, here at 100 Yards of Football. And I'd like to say special thanks to my producer, Logan Landers. Enjoy the game on Sunday. The Chicago Bears versus the Cleveland Browns.